tires out and abuse them too much to where all of a sudden you start slowing down. We've seen guys start off in a 30-second bracket. In a matter of 10 or 15 laps, they're running 32-second laps. That's the drop-off I'm talking about.
And the weather, you know, it hit 60 here, but not as sunny and not as warm as I think they thought it would be. So you hear guys complaining about fixing a tight condition. How is that figuring into this?
Well, you just got to keep working with it. You got to work with air pressure. You got to work with the wedge as well as the track bar. And again, if you can get your car, I think, to run around the top of the racetrack. And we've seen some guys that I think have been kind of surprised to me. Tony Stewart, he's running the top of the racetrack while Casey Kane's running the bottom of the racetrack, just the opposite of where I thought you'd find these guys.
Be sure to cast your vote all season long for the AT&T Fastest Pit Crew of the Year award. The standings from last week. Your AT&T phone is where you can text the car number for the crew you think is the best at each race. Text it to 2258. Delivered by AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. And
Chris, while we're talking about pit crews, I don't think that the 9 guys are going to be very happy because they had a pretty slow stop.
Kane losing 6 spots. Let's rejoin Darrell, Larry, and Mike.
Well, let's show it to you. Here's Casey coming in. He makes the stop right on the mark. Look in front of him, though. Jimmy Johnson starts way back of his box to keep from getting blocked in.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about. This is where there's so much congestion, and this is what happens when you have a good car, but you're pitting in front of the leader. But you can just see it was just a little bit of trouble across the board, right side, left side, the whole stop on that 9 car. Now let's take a look and compare it to Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch came in running 3rd, goes out leading the race. Casey Kane comes in leading the race, goes out 7th. Our gold standard time is based off of a 48 stop that we got these numbers. You can see just across the board, it was just off. Right side, getting around with the jack, and the left side, it's just a little bit all the way across the board. The difference for Casey Kane, losing 6 spots on that pit stop.
Getting ready to restart with 83 of 325 laps complete. Why don't you crank it up and we'll let them go for the green flag. Tony Stewart and Dale Jr. have a run. Jr. threads the needle, comes down right in front of the 11th of Denny Hamlin, and moves alongside Stewart for 2nd place.
That was a nice pass right there. Set the 11 up, got in there. Nice pass.
Steve?
Mike, on the last run, Dale Earnhardt Jr. said the car started out tight, but the longer he went, the better it got. It did get a little loose late in the last run, but he likes his race car.
And here comes Montoya on the bottom against Stewart.
And, you know, we're talking about Dale Jr. One of the things that we wanted him to do today, or one of the things we hoped he could do today, was be up front, be competitive, and not fall back through the field. So far, so good.
I tell you what, you keep him where he can see that leader, he'll stay after that leader.
Problem's going to be seeing the leader. Kurt Busch up to half a straightaway lead on this group. Earnhardt, Montoya, Stewart, and then it'll be Jeff Gordon in 5th. Matt?
And Mike, when you talk about tire management, a lot of creatures are saying the wear that you're getting more here at Atlanta is similar to Darlington, and you're not only working on your tires, but you're working on the right front or the right rear as far as how much to abuse it. For Jeff Gordon, he was a little too tight that last run. Steve Letarte said we're going to have to shift the balance a little more toward the free side because there was some considerable wear on the inside shoulder down to the cords on that right front.
But Darrell, you know, back in the day, you would come here, go to Darlington, you would just kind of play things easy in the beginning. These guys now, they're running qualifying laps every time the green flag's put out.
But it's always been too, Larry, that the longer we race, the more into the race we get, the better tire wear the wear in the tires will improve, and so I think we'll see that today. But one of the concerns, and you mentioned this, is camber. It's how much the tire is leaned in, and you can wear the inside of these tires out if you have too much camber. The car will turn, it'll make it turn. It's hard on that right front tire.
Paul Menard, Ryan Newman, 17th place. They have had close company all day. And at the front, what happened? Kasey Kahne moving ahead of Tony Stewart and Denny Hamlin, busting through to try to chase down Kurt Busch.
But even him passing cars, his lap time there was comparable to Kurt Busch, that's out there totally by himself right now.
So it was just the pit stop that got Kahne back in the midst of things. Now he's trying to break out, but he's got to get past 3 more cars to have a chance to run down the leader.
And one thing you got to really watch if you run that high line and get up there real close to that wall, as these tires wear, we'll see more and more buildup up next to the wall. That's what gets you in trouble. You get up there, get that on those hot tires, and the car will not turn.
I tell you what I like about that 42 car right now. We've watched him run most of this race at the top, but it looks like at least on fresh tires, he's not bashful about turning that thing to the bottom.
You know, Larry, I heard him tell somebody, I'm trying to learn to run the bottom.
All right, let's get back racing last time here.
And I know what has helped him learn to run the bottom. I think he's got a lot more horsepower under that hood than he's had in the past.
It's just not in his DNA to do that. He likes the top groove. He feels good up there. It feels fast. He likes to go fast.
Jeff Gordon in that 24 car, he drives by his teammate. He'll take the 3rd spot away from Junior.
Kurt Busch, who led 234 laps here last spring, is out front by 1.8 seconds in the Kobalt Tools 500. Interesting stuff. Jimmy and Chad.
Scared me.
Not as interesting as this. Right now, Jimmy's 8th behind Kurt Busch, Juan Montoya, Jeff Gordon, Kasey Kahne, and Dale Earnhardt. Some new players in the top 10. Matt Kenseth up to 7th. Tony Stewart 9th. A.J. Allmendinger. Well, he was 10th a second ago. Greg Biffle takes it back.
They've been going back and forth for about the last 5 to 10 laps with these 2 cars.
Behind them, Rudimann's 12th, Jeff Burton, Martin Truex, Brian Vickers, the top 15. Then Menard, McMurray, and Mark Martin.
Tell you what, I'm watching the interval between the 2 car of Busch and Juan Montoya back here, Jeff Gordon, and they are closing down on Kurt Busch at about a tenth to a tenth and a half a lap. Kurt Busch going to have some company here before too long.
I do believe the best car, though, right now is Jeff Gordon, that 24 car back in 3rd, just looking at our lap counter.
Now, the way that Kasey Kahne got back in the pack, he's now running 4th. But the way he got back there was on that pit stop. Let's get out of Jeff Hammond for today's nationwide pit zone.
And Mike, you see the 9 car on your right, comes into the pit stall, looks like he's in there like he'd like to be. Got the nose turned out just a little bit, but right in front of him, you see the 48. He comes in, the right rear of his car is kind of sticking out toward pit road, and when he starts to take off, he can't really hammer it like he wants to. He's got to take it easy. All of a sudden, there's his teammate, Jeff Gordon, getting, or not teammate, but here's Jeff Gordon, the teammate of Jimmy Johnson, also blocks him out. All of this combined cost him 6 positions off of pit road. You've got to get a clear shot if you want to have a really fast pit stop.
But Jeff, I think that supports what we were talking about. You've got 3 of the top cars, even though there's an opening there. You've got Gordon, Kahne, and Johnson all pitting right in the same area, and they just stack up with each other.
And you pick your pit in the order in which you qualify. The pole sitter picks first.
Chad's usually really, really good about picking a pit that he can get in and out of.
But he's not used to picking 16th position. That's what I think hurt him this week, a little bit like last week.
3 wide here. You see the left side of Brad Keselowski's car looks fine. Right side, not so much. He's been in the wall with it.
And these guys, they're about a half. Our leader right now, Kurt Busch, you'll see all the damage on that 12 car, and our points leader, Kevin Harvick, we've been following him pretty much knew, Matt, talking to that group this morning, that they didn't have a race car they felt very good about.
And it really started back on lap 12, Larry Mack, when Kevin told Gil Martin, guys, it is going to be a very long day. The car is just super tight, and that's what they've been balancing with for the rest of the race so far. And then he said the rear of the car is like on ice, and it's just tight on entry, so the balance issue is all over the